Imagine taking your stock Z950 and making it look like this.
So I've had a few of you ask me about all the extras that I've done to my unit, wanting to know what all I put into it, what's the cost, where I got the things from. As a matter of fact, there's only been 2 of you, but still, it's worth making a video on. So this is my Z950, the OutCast Edition. So we're going to start with the this vinyl wrap. See, this is all black. Well, this is generally red. All these painted spots from here up around the lights and on the sides of the doors is generally red, or whatever color you get your unit. Well, I wanted mine black because I wanted it to not, first off, I didn't want the red unless I were to paint all my suspension red to match it.
How about new?
So I decided I want vinyl, and also protects the paint because this is automobile paint underneath of this. So I decided to put a vinyl wrap made by Vivid. I think I got it off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the, in the comments below. So there's the wrap. Next thing we're going to talk about is these Fender Flares. Now, I've already done a video on these where I got the plastic from. This is I think it's 1/8 inch 2x4 sheets of ABS. I think I got it off of eBay, and I'll put a link below on that, but they're quite easy to make. You just make a cardboard template to fit whatever you want, however you want it to look, and all you do is you just secure it with the push pins, your factory push pins. You buy extras, I bought them from Amazon, and you drill holes the appropriate size to match the push pins, and you push these pins in, and it locks them in nice and solid. Piece of cake, easy, really. I bet it didn't take me an hour and a half to do them, maybe. It wasn't long at all, and I think most of my time was designing on how they were going to be done. Third thing I did extra was this roll cage upgrade. As you know, as I do, that this is not part of the system. This is an extra, something that I felt a little safer having it on there versus not having it on there, because in case I were to roll over, I've almost did it on the side a few times, never on the roof, but didn't want to take that chance, so I decided I wanted to put these extra pieces of steel here welded to the existing bumpers, factory bumpers, and put extra supports in, a V-frame up to the top of the center bar going across, and then down the back I put bars back to hold my spare tire on as well. Plus it was major support for the roof to keep it from collapsing on me. There's a video of that if you'd like to see how I did it, but I will put a link in there for these connectors that you use to connect the 2 pieces of roll cage so you can take it all off. I'll put a link to those in the description below. Next thing I'd like to talk about is the tires. These tires are Rockabilly 32 by 10 by 14s, plus the rims are made by Rock Tricks. I bought all 5 tires. I got them on sale for $1,105. Of course, they're not that price now. I waited and waited until I got the tires for $157 a piece delivered. You have to just shop around. Now, you may not like the Rockabillys, but I do. I think they're great tires, and they work good for what I do. So I bought 5 so I have an extra for a spare. I don't want to take my typical 27-inch tires that came with it for spares. That's just not happening. So I bought these as a set, got all 5 delivered, put on the rims. It cost me $100 to have all 5 tires put on the rims, and of course I keep about 8 to 10 pounds of pressure in them at all times wherever I'm riding. So they're definitely a plus. They're really good tires. They seem to be wearing okay. I can't really complain. I can't complain about the way they're wearing. They're wearing pretty evenly. I like them. Then I've got the 2-inch wheel spacers. Now we talk about the wheel spacers. I did get 2-inch wheel spacers front and back because I wanted my unit to be 64 inches wide, not 60 inches wide. I just thought that 60 inches wide is too narrow for a unit that's 7 foot high. Not really, it's about 6'1", 72 inches, 73 inches tall. And so I wanted to get a little more width to accommodate the way we drive. I mean, let's be serious. You can't tell how we ride just from videos. You have to be with us to ride with us to see, because videos never show how you're truly riding. But I did put the wheel spacers on because I wanted a little wider stance, and plus I'm already, you know, with the wheel spacers on there, with a wider stance and the height of the tires, just, you know, if I'd stayed at 60 inches wide with the taller tires, I just felt it was going to make it a little too top heavy for me. So I thought the width would be nice, and I would not recommend going above the 2-inch front and back on the wheel spacers. The next thing I'd like to talk about is these high arch A-arms. I got them from Super ATV. Man, they were really quite expensive in my opinion, but heck, man, I think they're worth it. They were like $450 for the set. I could be wrong on that, but I'll put a link to those in the description below as well. Quite easy to take off the old ones and put the new ones on. You do need to get a press to press the ball joints out and put the new ball joints back in, but you can rent them at your local automotive store. They're really free. You know, you pay for the deposit, and then you get your money back when you return it. So the higher J-arm gives me a lot more clearance in the front end, keep me from hitting, you know, tearing things apart. So higher J-arms is a plus. Next thing I'd like to go with is the front and rear bumper. This is a stock front bumper. Or, sorry, this is the front bumper. It comes from here down across, and the same thing. This is not part of the bumper. I put this on myself, but this is the bumper. There's a rear bumper which kind of resembles it, and knowing what I know now with building my roll cage, I really would have liked to have not paid for this bumper and did something different myself. But since I already invested the money in these, they were like $275 for this one, $200 for the rear one. I mean, I already had them on there. So I figured I would connect my roll cage to the bumper and make it a little more sturdy. So now it's all tied in as one big piece. Of course, my welding has a lot to be desired, but I seriously doubt the welds are going to break, but who knows. Now, the door panels are optional. It comes in 2 pieces. If you buy the CF Moto door inserts, you have the front insert, which protects your feet. And then you have a little piece on the back of the doors, which I chose to leave out because I wanted airflow in my unit. You know, a little bit of extra airflow. I generally don't get mud through that or anything like that, but you know, I wanted just the lower section in to protect the mud from blowing up at my feet and on my legs while I'm driving. So the door panels, I mean, they're $350, man. But you know, that's a choice. You either want them or you don't. Ooh, mosquito. So either the door panels, you either want them or you don't want them. It's totally up to you. If you want them, you may like the half door. I didn't like the half door. Like I said, that's why this is the OutCast edition. It's the way I wanted it. I want my unit blackened out, and as you can see, that's what I've got. The skid plate. The skid plate that's on here now is a full 1/2 inch thick. I got it from 3-Star Industries. Great, solid skid plate. I mean, it buckles up nicely. The one thing about it that was not good is it came with all 30mm bolts. 30mm bolts are too short. There's 2 40mm bolts, which goes underneath this steel plate that connects to the frame, which the skid plate goes under this or above this, and this sandwiches it shut. All the bolts should have been 40mm, not 30, because the 30s that I got with it were too short to hit the connectors because of the 1/2 inch thick skid plate. Yeah, of course, the other one that was on here originally from stock it's literally, I swear, it's like a Tupperware bowl. That's how thin it was. It was broken and destroyed, like I said in another video. It really was not worth even putting on there, to tell you the truth, because it was absolutely obliterated, ripped in half, broken, holes punched through it, pieces shredded everywhere from the rocks I've hit. And I did check the frame and all that stuff before I put the new skid plate on. Nothing was damaged. There was some scrapes on it, but you know, a little bit of touch-up paint, and it's back to good. So we're good on that. Next thing, let's talk about the dual exhaust. Man, that's badass. That exhaust sounds badass. I still haven't made up my mind if I'm going to pull the baffles or the DB killers out when I go riding in West Virginia at the end of August, probably 1st of September, I think is when the actual date is. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to pull them out or not, but I'm probably going to leave them in because it is really loud. I pity the poor bastard who rides behind me because it's really going to hammer them pretty hard with the sound. But that dual exhaust is a true dual exhaust all the way out the back, and man, they just look fabulous and it sounds fabulous. That is something absolutely positive that I would put on any of my units. If you got twin cylinder, dual exhaust, game changer, nice. Next is the stage 3 clutch for this unit. Now they make a trail stage 3 and a mud stage 3. Now the trail stage 3 is for those who want to go faster down the trails, you know, in the wide open areas. That's great. With your bigger tires, you know, it still gives you good performance in your takeout. It's not going to have the same torque as the Mud Edition, which is the edition that I've got. They've labeled the one that I have as Mud Edition because it helps deliver way more torque in your initial takeout. Yeah, they say it takes about 5 miles an hour out of your top end. But hell, man, I'd rather get 0 to 40 like that than to get to 0 to 60 in, you know, 20 seconds later. I don't really care. I really don't care. I wanted it for instant torque, instant pull. That's what I got, and I wouldn't change it for nothing, not at all. So I'm going to stick with the stage 3. Make sure you get all stage 1, 2, and 3 from Main Street Cycles out of Mississippi. Next is the Tune, the ECU Tune, $415. I just got mine back on the last video. You guys saw me install it and put it in. Still not sure if it's worth it or not, but I'll find out. I got to wait another month and a week to go out to West Virginia and ride. I'm looking forward to it, and man, I hope I can report good news that it really was worth it, because I had that old pushy button box thing on here and it just, man, I could not make that thing work for crap. But this ECU Tune that I got from Main Street Cycles, man, it's just, my unit starts, fires up awesome, it idles good. It actually sounds like it's cammed half the time when I'm just, because I listen to it idle just so I could, you know, heck yeah, man, just the way it sounds, it's awesome. So the ECU Tune, Main Street Cycles. So when you purchase it online, someone will send you an email with your PDF file of your sales receipt. You have to take out the ECU, put the sales receipt in the ECU, mail it to them. They'll mail it back with a tune on it, pop it in, and fire it up. And what a difference! Major difference in the way it starts, major in the difference in the way it runs and idles, and man, it just revs. It's like it instantaneously revs on the gas. You touch the gas, it just wants to rev. And that's good. I think it's good. So will I gain any horsepower on it? Who knows? I don't really know. I can go by what their machines are telling me. But I'll know quickly how much difference it makes when I hit the trails. And I hit them turns and the gas throttle response at the lower speed to 10 to 15 miles an hour, and you're doing these cutbacks and you need to goose it and get your ass end to kick around so you don't have to do the 3-point turn, because this thing turns like a school bus. It's going to be nice. I'll definitely do a post on that when I do get back from the trails. I may have missed some stuff. I'm not sure. I mean, like these lights. Yeah. I mean, you know, I got this lights, that light, the 2 lights on the back, the actual paddle switch, a cluster. I got all that on Amazon, including the mirrors. I bet I didn't spend $125 on all them parts. They really are cheap. Really cheap. It doesn't cost a lot to get them. You suit yourself what you want in this, like radios and stuff. I don't have any need for radio. I don't listen to radio. I mean, I just don't. I want to hear my engine run. I want to hear everything around me when I'm not being deafened from my engine. You know, my muffler's going off. I don't have time for radio. There's no music I really enjoy just sitting around listening to. So, what the heck, man? So I zeroed out the radio. The lights I do like. I do want to get some more lights for the back. I want to get the yellow and white emergency lights, just the flashers or the circular ones. I'm not sure yet, but I'll figure that part out at a later time. Not a big deal. This is my Z950, and I've named it the OutCast Edition. And I like it very much. I wouldn't trade it for